All right, red light's on. Make sure we're actually live in the YouTube videos. What's happening, Fishing friends? Welcome to another live. Should be a fun one tonight. And as soon as I start seeing names pop up and make sure we're actually live, my stupid wheel is stuck. Then we'll get into the intros. While we're waiting, I'm just going to go back through the comments. Always want to thank the members, just like Michael, Scott, Mr. Trevor. I appreciate the heck out of all you guys and gals that donate monthly to help support me in the channel. It does mean a lot. It helps the channel a lot because, as y'all can see, I got most all of the giveaways out except for the people who have the customs and Tom, who just won on the Epic Eric Live. So all of you, I need to paint your baits, the ice slide or whatever the swim baits are, and get those last few out. So those are coming. Everybody else, you should be getting your baits soon that I just sent out. All right, I see numbers popping up. I think we should be good here. It's been a little bit of lag on my side with the internet. So hopefully we don't have any issues tonight. But tonight should be a fun one. We've got Mr. Nate from Pig Jigs with us today. Sir, how are you?
Very good. Very good.
I'm excited.
Appreciate you having me on.
You are welcome. Yes, thanks for. I know you're a busy guy, so thanks for jumping on. I thought I had him on quite some time ago, so I kind of feel like a prick because we've talked back and forth. I know I've ordered stuff from him, shown some vids of some of his stuff, and I could have swore I had already had him on. So I feel bad. So first, I apologize for not getting here on sooner because you make some really cool stuff, and I think people are going to really like a lot of this because one thing I get a lot of questions on is a Ned head, and I know you've got some really cool stuff. And then we'll just kind of get into it because there's some other fun stuff that I think people will like as well. So give us your quick elevator speech of I guess Pig Jigs and how it all came about.
So, about 4 or 5 years ago now, um, I was tournament kayak angling when I was home from work. I would try to do a lot of the monthlies, and then every once in a while I'd be able to hit it live. I noticed some callers were really hitting in the waters I was, and I wanted to kind of beef up the profile. So I was trying to get it's actually like what I call the truce jig. I wasn't able to get it, so I jumped on Amazon. I still have the vise over here in the first jig I tied. Got a $19 vise, 2 packs of skirts, and a 5-pound bag of mixed skirts. And then I just started playing with all the random collars to see how it kind of flows on the jig and the fluff of it, the tie. And then I made that first one that I was actually going to fish with. Took it out, fell in love with the feeling of catching a fish on something that you created right there in your living room at the time.
It's a very different feeling catching something on like something you made and you're like, are they going to hit this color? I've never really seen this. I don't know. Then you start catching fish and you're like, oh yeah, I'm on to something.
Yeah, so I mean, it was the happiest I've ever been when I caught a 12-inch bass. So just things over the last few years have just kind of escalated. We've got our own website. We do the apparel. We've ventured a lot into the ultralight BFS scene as of late. It's kind of the direction we're going. We still do the normal stuff, and then hopefully very soon we will be releasing our BFS rod and the ultralight rods.
Oh, I didn't know you were doing a BFS rod. That's fun.
Yeah, I tested it several times, and my brother, he's the one that actually makes them. So they're all handmade here. He just lives down the road there from me, but
no crap.
yeah, it's a 6 foot. I'll get it at some point during the show if you'd like me to show it to you. And that's about a quick rundown. Sky's the limit, and we're hoping it just keeps on going.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I did, just for everybody following along, if you want to check out his website, I linked that down below in the description. I will also be bringing it up here to show a little bit better pictures, some stuff with us here, but just to share stuff up here so we can get a little bit better look. Now, I know Nate's going to be having a drop coming soon, so I guess let's just start there. what's a new jig or I know you've got a spinner. Maybe just tell us something new you've got in the works that's cooking. That you're
Yeah, so every month I try to bring something new, whether it be a collar, a new jig design, a size of a jig that we already offer. It kind of keeps things fresh for the customers and stuff.
hmm
So this is something been wanting to do for a while because trout fishing where I live is pretty much king. A lot of people only trout fish, it seems.
hmm.
I mean, you have your bass anglers, but they've already started stocking the rivers and stuff here in West Virginia, and so we wanted to venture kind of into the BFS slash trout inline. So this is something we're going to be bringing out Monday. It's a 1/10 of an ounce inline spin. It has a built-in ball bearing premium swivel here, so that you don't have to worry about line twist and things like that. Um, it's got a free spin, has your tungsten weight there, and then it also features the extra wide gap hook from a buddy of
Oh,
mine over at Creek Life Lure Company. I hit him up. I really like his hooks. I like the products he puts out and things. So I wanted to kind of bring another small bait guy along with me for this collab, and
that's
we'll be
cool.
releasing this Monday.
Okay. The spinner now. I know a spinner. Speaking of spinner, y'all saw the. Actually, I think I have it over here. I just ran into it. Hold on. I saved it aside when I was doing my. I was getting gear ready because I'm filming my best and worst gear of the year. Does that one look familiar?
Sure does.
Yeah. So if y'all remember
Very
that
nice.
day where I was throwing, what was I throwing? I was throwing little finesse. Actually, on the BFS setup, little grub deal. I ended up switching to this and caught like 10 fish all on that one point on that little tiny, little itsy bitsy spinnerbait. What is that? An eighth, if I remember right?
This, this is BF. It's called the BF Spinnerbait. So it's
Yep.
BFS Spinnerbait all run together, and it's a 1/16 ounce. This is
Yeah.
actually the American Shad, the
Oh, the
same
same
one.
color. Yeah.
It's
So
actually
sorry, I was just going to
it's
say
the
heads up. Nate was nice enough to offer a giveaway tonight. So if you want to show what you're throwing in tonight, and I tried saying, hey, listen, I'll throw you some money first. And he said, nope, nope. So it kind of shows what kind of guy he is. I appreciate that, man.
yes sir, man. So this is a hat we got in stock recently. This is the OD green with that pig logo. Going to do that. Going to do my favorite color in this BFS spinnerbait, the American Shad. It just
Color
seems to
sweet.
work. It's the one that we tested the most when we were trying to bring it out, and it just it did work. So we going to give that away. We're going to give a elated, so it's like an ultralight bladed 1/16. And this is the secret shad.
So it's like a
Going
little
to do this.
micro, it's like a little micro chatterbait type thing.
So this is a our Neden Jig, one of our most popular jigs. This is I call this the nautical collar. It was one of the first collars that I made in the Neden Jig way back when. Features a EWG hook 1/8, and then our new really released jiglet. This is a 1/16 in the truce collar. Got a 1/32 mud monster. It's a AA collar. Got a little spin on there.
Purple chartreuse,
We're
great pick.
going to give a unreleased sticker. We just got some holograph stickers in. And last but not least, I want to throw in one of these unreleased uh, EWG tungsten inline spins.
Hell yeah, man. That's a perfect little giveaway. And this is one of the questions I had for you. Amy just threw it up here. How did you come up with the name Pig Jigs?
That's funny. So when I first started, I work away from home, and I was sending them buddies that were also kayak fishing. And I was talking to them. It was about a week before I come home, and I was like, man, I cannot wait to throw these jigs at some pigs. And he was like, that's it. I was like, what
Pig
do you
Jigs.
mean? And he was like, pig jigs, and it just stuck. It's kind of funny. It's a catchy name, catchy logo, but we like it. And we're gonna ride it out.
I thought maybe you owned a pig farm in it, just combine the two.
So no,
It's
so I did a
disappointing. I
show.
thought you had a big pig farm.
No, I did a show there, the Mothman Festival here where I live, and
We got to talk
I
about that. I forgot about that.
I set up there, and I had a banner made, and whatnot, and I had made up some Mothman jigs. They're on the website, and I did a Flatwoods Monster, which is another West Virginia uh, mythical creature there. But the amount of people that come and ask me what a pig jig was, I just wanted to make a sign. Somebody's like, "Do you sell barbecue? This and that." I'm like, "No. Do you sell barbecue sauce?" No, unfortunately, I don't.
No.
Like
Yeah.
I just have I just have jigs here.
I'm just a fisherman. Yeah, dude, I
Yeah.
had to grab one of your, that was the last order I put in, was to get one of your Mothman shirts. I've always been into like cryptid, funny, weird stuff. Unfortunately, I don't believe in any of them. It sucks because like the more I look into the stuff, I don't believe in any of it. But like was always fascinated with Bigfoot when I was young. But yeah, Mothman's another one out your way, West Virginia. So I had to get one of your Mothman the pig moth shirts. Was pretty badass, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we had quite a few of them made and went through a lot of them. And whatever I had left over, I put on the site. It was a big hit. Everybody was kind of laughing about it because it was something other than just the typical Mothman shirt. It kind of combined the two.
Right.
Uh,
So going through, I know that was one of the things that I liked of yours. I've kind of done my own little spin and just do some like real finesse Ned stuff. But I've pointed a number of people your way, and actually from some of my unboxings. Um, if I share here, I thought I was presenting. There we go. So yeah, Dizzle is still out in Nebraska doing corn husker things with his old lady. Hopefully he'll be back here soon. I thought he was supposed to be back this weekend, but I didn't hear from him. He didn't bring any of his live stuff or his laptop, so shame on him. But yes, he will be back soon once I get Dizzle to come back this way to old Iowa again. But a bunch of people sent your way for this, and I know this is a big one, the Neden Jig. So if you guys, he showed a picture of that, and maybe find one here that maybe shows it. I guess that's probably about as good of a, whoa, not that much. Well, anyway, it's the EWG hook that he was showing. So do you make just and sell just the EWG net heads? I have people ask me about that
no,
too.
no, we don't. We've I've pondered on it, and I would say you'll see the Jiglet bear before you see the Ned bear
Okay.
very soon in the 1/16. Just because it's our own jig head,
Mhm.
and, custom and things. I've kind of played around with the idea of it, but for right now, we're just going to stick with the skirted Neds.
Okay.
This is it. I took that free one out of the package and stuff, but kind of
All right.
see out. It's got the flash, and
What size hook do you use on it?
this is a size 1 hook. So I typically run it on a spinning medium. Kind of see the bend in there.
Yep.
So I tend to run this on a medium spinning 8-pound braid. Um, Sometimes if I'm going bigger, I'll switch over to the 10 and then to a fluoro leader. If it's real thick stuff, I just fish it straight braid and
Mhm.
set the drag so I'm not bending the hook. But I was not this year, but last year I landed a 5.5 on this, and the hook was just fine playing the drag and things. So
Yeah, and that
it's
goes back
finessey, but
to,
it will hold up.
yep. Yeah, and that goes back to, I used to have a deal I call the hook rod line relationship. And it's, yeah, you have to play all those together. I mean, if you try throwing one of those on a heavy bait caster, good chance you're going to just bend out that hook. And that's no fault of, his product or his jig. Anybody that makes one, if I've got my do it mold, if I do the same thing, you have to throw it on something that's set up for that. And that's something we were talking about beforehand too, and he'll kind of get into this, the whole BFS game and some of the changes that Nate's made to his lineup from customer requests and things that he's seen through the industry. So maybe take us into some of that. So just I guess that's what I was getting at. Sometimes my ADHD takes me different paths here, but what I was getting at was if you hear BFS, you know, obviously I've got into a little bit of it, but if you hear that and you throw ultralight, don't even think of the BFS, just think ultralight. Both of them can go, you know, hand in hand, just depends on what you want to throw it on. So getting into some of the BFS or the ultralight stuff, I know you said you had, I guess, just the request from the consumer, but what kind of got you into those little jigs, the jiglet? What I don't know, tell us maybe how that all got pushed into.
So where I live in West Virginia, um, the bite's not like if you know you're in Florida or Texas. We're kind of limited on water. I'm very limited on time, and I also take my nephews, my wife, a younger kid that used to help me here with the jigs and things, fishing and stuff. And I'm sure most of you have, you know, taken kids fishing and things like that and whatnot. So just kind of wanted to create something that anybody could fish, and have a good time, whether, you know, they're catching 5 bluegill or 5 bass, just whatever it might be. Just get outside and, you know, actually be able to put some fish on the bank. So I started with the mule head. I had it sitting here on my desk and decided to tie it up. And I took that jig that day. It was actually this collar right here. It's I call it Pond Slayer. It got that his name for a reason. But I took it to a local test pond where I go just over from the house and caught 30 in a couple hours. And I told myself, I was like, I'm going to grab my nephew. He's never fished a jig. If we go and have the same day that I just did, I've got to contact Ethan and see if we can, you know, make this a go for the public.
Mm-hmm.
So we made it, and it was our top selling jig, right up there with the Neden Jig. It's catching fish all over the country. It's super finessey. And it's just fun. I fish them a lot. I had a 2024 video I put together of all my catches, and the black mayfly 132nd paired with my buddy Black Diamonds Helgramite were most of my catches for the year. Anything from crappie, bluegill, bass, things like that. So it's kind of why we started it, and it just seems like there's other people enjoying that same style of fishing. So we just wanted to make sure that you know, we cater to those people that actually want to do the ultralight and
Mm-hmm.
the BFS.
Right.
So if I'm going to do the ultralight, when people ask me about BFS a lot, my best advice for them is don't watch the videos and think that you're going to cast trout magnets, one, without practice or the proper stuff. So if you're going to go super, super light and you're just getting started in it, I would kind of stick with the, like I fish an ultralight spinning setup. So the expectations, you know, not there that I'm going to be casting super, super light stuff, getting aggravated. It's kind of how I did in the beginning. And then when I go to like 1/16 or around, that's my sweet spot for BFS.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because when I first started BFS, I got I tried it a couple times and got aggravated and just kind of pushed it aside and was just using the spinning. But then I started looking more into it and started making more baits and things like that, and really fell in love with it. I actually love taking our BFS rod out and, you know, throwing the super finessey stuff and putting fish on the bank with it.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, these are such a perfect way. I mean, but I think somebody else was asking too. Yes, the Neden Jig has the EWG hook in it, 1/10 ounce Neden Jig, which is a perfect size. And I completely forgot to say, still tying all these, is everything thread tied, or do you do wire on anything?
No, everything is tied up with a bobbin. We try to match all the thread to all the jigs, so they're
Mm-hmm.
all color coded nice and things. That way they kind of don't have some random, but they're all thread, and they're all locked in with loom head cement.
This is a pretty cool one too. You got some of the Flashaboo on it, 1/16 ounce Buggy Micro. Where's the
So
Mayfly sold out?
yeah, that's it right there. Actually, I have bags of them that are going to be put packaged up here for Monday. I'll get one out. It's hands down my favorite of the buggy series for where I live because most of the stuff I fish is dirty water.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, we don't have. I mean, some of the rivers once you get up to the mountains and stuff where the trout are and things, it's very clean. But like here where I live in Point Pleasant, the slightest little bit of rain and you're in chocolate milk. It seems. So
So
this
that's
is
why.
the
So that's why you were saying getting away with straight braid. I had a couple. There was a couple of people asking when you were talking about that, and I was going to come back to it. But yeah, so fish in muddy water, a lot of times you can get away with braid, especially even going with straight braid. I mean, especially even when you go like with a natural color if you don't run high vis braid. But I know somebody asked the benefit of going braid to a leader, and really it's just for when you're fishing those places that aren't as dirty, cleaner water. You get the benefit of the clear fluorocarbon line, but with the braid you get the sensitivity of that. So really for me it's a watercolor thing. But yeah, if you have really dirty chocolate milk water, more than likely you can get away with straight braid. Somebody else did say, yeah, micro guides or just the connection knot can kind of be a pain. Yeah, it can, but usually with real light line, if you're going like 10-pound braid to an 8-pound leader, it's not a huge knot. So a lot of times it's not awful on spinning.
so on my spinning, I'm using a 4 pound braid
Oh,
from
wow. You're going
Creek Fly.
super light.
Yeah, and the BFS I'm running 6 pound uh, Spro finesse braid. I'll
Okay.
alter between the pink and the green, just whatever I can get. Sometimes I'll bump it up to 8, but a lot of times I like to stick to that 6 range. But that 4, I've tested the theory of the leader, and it's a question that everybody always asks. Um, Now, if it's super clean water and I can see down in it, I'm seeing the bottom pretty good, I'll always tie on a leader. But I've broke off in a day and it been closer to the end of the, fishing trip and went ahead and just fished the braid straight to it,
Mm,
and didn't see a difference. Now that's just my experience, and it may be because the water around here is, not super, super clean, but
okay. So which one do you have here to show us?
this is the mayfly. You had it up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
This is Black Diamonds Helgi. It's a buddy of mine, Brad, that lives here close to me. It's a good friend. So it's got that flash on there, and it's just staying. Let me get it down on there.
Oh, so he makes the plastic is what you're talking about. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a tasty little morsel.
yeah, he does a lot of the stuff. Plastics will collab on like the one and done boxes and things like that. But this thing, the fall rate on it is why it's catches so many fish. A
That's
lot of
sick.
times they hit it before they even before it even gets to the bottom. Usually you'll see your line jump a lot of times, obviously, before you'll feel it. But
Hold on here. Mike is saying, how are we not talking about the fact there's a bladed jig named Mr. Stubbs? Is that of yours? Bladed jig
that
color?
is no, it's actually one of our uh, belated jigs. If you'd like me to grab one, I will.
Yes, please. Well, I don't even see it.
It's we have a 1/8 and we have a
Oh, here.
3/16. So it should be like maybe second page down.
Oh, that's the other. Oh gosh, you got those in stock. This, let's see, is it still in stock? Oh, this was the other one that I love that you did. Yeah, this kryptonite. Beautiful little
Yeah,
spinnerbait. I was looking just at the first page. I didn't realize you had multiple pages of stuff here.
yeah, we got quite a bit of stuff now. We're going to revamp here.
Oh, there's the
Um,
Mothman shirt, the Moth Pig.
yeah.
Mr. Stubbs. What?
So
So
what
yeah,
this is
I'm gonna have to collect royalties on that for stealing my dog's name.
your dog's name.
That's his
That's
name, Mr.
funny.
Stubbs. Stubby dog.
That's awesome. So it's basically our elated jig, but it's the 1/8 and the 3/16 sizes.
Oh, okay.
So what this
A little bit bigger.
so what this is, the reason why it's called Mr. Scuggs is, so you see this, look how short the hook is.
Oh yeah.
But we got a beefier hook, for those sizes, those 3/16 and the 1/8. But it's
Uh-huh.
so short. I mean, you look at the head,
Yeah.
before the skirts on there, it's super stubby. But I honestly, the hookup ratio is fantastic with it because there's not much to miss. I mean, if
Sure.
they grab it, there's just a couple inches it's not hooked on either
Yeah, because
side.
do you even need a trailer with that? Something that small?
You don't have to, and a lot of times, what I'll run is, this is another one of Black Diamond's products, but this is like a minnow, and this is
Hmm.
something that I would cut this 3 inch down a little bit if I was going to run it on here. But I just run like a paddle tail, not too much
That's
action
sweet.
because it tends to play with the action of the
Yeah.
bait.
Won't let
This
it vibrate as much.
and this is what I'll use on um, the elated, so it's a 2 inch.
Bassless, I can't, Ron, I can't put that comment up, but yeah, hopefully it doesn't. That's Stubby Dog's bad. See, why doesn't it? It doesn't show the pictures. My dog, when he's down here and nobody's home, well, I shouldn't say when nobody's home. When he's down here for a live, he gets like really pissed that I'm not hanging out with him, and he goes and has his way in the other room with a pillow and takes his frustration out on it. So
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
that's his bad habit. Dirty
That's
little
funny.
dog. Yeah, let's look at some more here. So, okay, so what's your number one seller right now? What is the thing? Do you have anything that's like kind of head and shoulders above selling everything else? Also, we got Jigs and Bigs in here. I was just on talking with Mr. Bobby Roast Beef. Hope you're well, brother. Anyway, what's your number one? Number one seller? Do you have one or two?
Man, we have such a wide variety of jigs. That elated is our 1/16 bladed jig, the elated, the BFS spinnerbait, and I would say our micros. I mean, between the jiglet, our brand new one that we just come out with, that
Mm,
special head design that you'll see in me post videos on, where it'll look like it's going to lay down and pop back up.
mm-hmm.
We just got this released. I wanted to get it before, the cold water got here. It just didn't happen. So we went ahead and tested it, released it, and things like that. But and then our micro jig that we paired up with Mule.
Okay. Yeah, good
So
picks.
this
I
is
know you had
this
some of
is a
those.
testament
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
to our micro jig. I was talking about taking the kids, and the wife and things fishing, and
Uh-huh.
handing them one of those and watching them catch fish all around the bank with it. When I was testing this jiglet, I go to a little creek by the house. It's about 5 to 6 minutes away. And this same lady, she always sees me come there, and she'll actually move her chair out of that little spot where I'll cast down that bank if she sees me coming. So I was there one day, was doing really well on it. She was like, "Wow, that thing really working." And I was like, "Well, let me tie you one on." Granted, she's 70. When I first met her, she was fishing with the Dock Demon. So we gave her a little upgrade. She only does push buttons, so I hooked her up with the classic, the 33.
Yeah, the old
Uh,
33. Yeah, solid.
gave her an ugly stick, one of the old 33s too, with still all the metal on it,
I say the heavy,
and
yeah, heavy duty.
the ugly stick. And it wasn't 5 to 10 minutes later, I put a trailer on it for her, showed her how to fish it, just throw it out there, let it sit, give it a couple pops, let it sit, and went on about my business down the bank fishing, trying other colors and things. And I hear splash, 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 and she's over there on her little bucket reeling it in. And I was like,
Woo.
yes. I was like, may I get a picture? And she didn't want her picture taken. And I I respected that fact. So I just kind of took a picture of her in her hand and that
Sure.
little green sunfish. But
That's
just a
awesome.
testament, like anybody can pick up that jiglet, I believe. There's no wrong way to fish it. Trailer, you can vary the trailer, but just a small piece of plastic on the back of it and just go have fun. So
And this is a pretty cool one too. I know I got some of these. I don't think I tossed these at all. How have these been? Do these go over pretty well with folks?
very well. It's one of our newcomers. I did the 132nd in first, and fish crappie are absolutely loving them.
Mm,
The bass were hitting them and things. Um, so we went ahead and did the 1/8 size, and then we did a little bit bigger with a little bit bigger hook for that the guys that wanted the heavier uh, get down sizes. But I can get one
hmm
out of the package here, show you.
Another lure maker in the house. Bastope in here. Bastope, another good guy. Go check out his website, selling some cool stuff. Yeah. Now
So
you've got her
this is
hooked.
the
Sierra says now you've got her hooked. She's only using the G Loomis now. Now you've got her in the fishing addiction.
next time I see her, she's probably going to be in a boat and everything.
Hey, want to join me?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
ask her for a ride. I'll be like, "Hey, can I go?" Super sweet lady though. Like I was watching
Uh,
her use that little dock demon, and it would cast like 3 or 4 feet out, and I was like, "We got to fix this."
right.
She's nice enough to let me in these spots when I come and whatnot.
So that's
So
cool. So that's like the Okashira screwhead type thing from what Mega Bass that makes that little one of those little spin
yeah,
heads.
so ours doesn't have a uh, bait holder on it, and I kind of went back and forth on that. And I have a group called Pig Nation. I'm sure a lot of the guys are in here in the chat and stuff this evening. But we, when I was doing this, I was sending a couple out, and I decided not to because a lot of the plastics that we're using, so like Mule, Z-Man, was such a small hook and things, and for this needs to be 100% straight for it to run right.
Mhm.
Um, I tested it without and was catching fish no problem and not really having them pull it off as well because it still has the thread in the thread wrap.
Will
So
hold
we've
it.
kind
You
of
could
wrapped
also
it.
like super glue on that too.
Yeah, and that's what I told them. And a lot of the guys that are into the ultralight and stuff in the BFS um, would talk about how hard it was to get some of these plastics on straight. And it's aggravating, and then you're wasting plastic or
Right.
trying to get it to twist on just right. I mean, that hook's so tiny. So I've used this minnow so much for demonstration. I about wore the end of it out, but this is what I'll fish on a little 2-inch paddle tail, something simple, basic.
And what was this company? Amy also was asking too. I know you said their name before, but I didn't hear. And do you use any other small soft plastics besides that company you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, I mean, he's such a good buddy of mine. So he just lives right down the road, and I
Sure.
can
Oh
kind of
yeah.
collab on the collars and stuff. I love mule fishing products.
Hmm.
Still use a little of the Z-Man. I've honestly, where I'm a bait maker, I kind of tend to use a lot of the other bait maker stuff. Guys I've worked with, guys I talk to a lot, people that I've collabed with. Another guy that I really like his product. We got hooked up is Never Quit Fishing. So this is a spaz crawl that, and it's if the Helger mite's not working on that little micro, um,
That's awesome.
this is what I use. So depending on the time of year too, like if I know they're eating crawfish and stuff, I see red lips. I grab that spaz crawl and start walking around the bank with it.
That's awesome. And holy S bomb. Dersh, love you too, brother. Sorry, been MIA working nights again, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Damn. Yeah, I was supposed to get you on, man. Dersh, you need to get on one. hopefully we can get you on sometime soon. Can only hang a few minutes on your break. Dude, you did not need to do that, brother. That is ridiculously nice of you. We'll get you on sometime, brother. I appreciate the hell out of you, dude. That was way too much. Holy smokes, man. I'll
So
Durr,
this
you have
is
to let me know. I'll get you hooked up with a Debo care package.
this is one of my favorites.
Oh, that's
I don't
awesome.
know.
Talk about micro, little Ned.
Yeah, this is on our Jiglet, the Pond Slayer, and this is a feast collar he did for me for. We actually have some collab boxes with him on the website there, but it just stands straight up in the water. It's
Yeah, that little one's
fantastic.
cool.
Yeah.
And what was the name of? Is that the guy that makes those little Helgies and stuff too?
No, that's Black Diamond Bait Company.
Oh, was he the one making those little paddle tails? Because there was people asking about Kitex and stuff, and I wanted to look at those real quick.
He doesn't have a website or anything. He does have an Instagram
Darn.
page,
Okay.
but if you go over to Instagram and hit him up, I'm sure he will be more than glad to help you when he can find the time. He has a full-time job too, kind of like myself, so just
Gotcha.
have to
Okay.
kind of be patient with him. And yeah, he makes great quality stuff that I pair with a lot of my jigs.
I really like the look of that paddle tail. I was going to try to send some people his way because yeah,
That
this one I need to go with a little bit bigger because this is the and it really didn't give any action back here. It was just kind of to add some meat to it that day. It was a little windy, but yeah, something with a little
yeah
bit of a tail on that because this spinner, I'm telling y'all, is a sick little spinnerbait.
yeah I use the trailer very rarely on that BFS spinnerbait. And that's just personal preference. I tend to do better a lot without the trailer, but if it is windy and I need to get a little bit more weight and get it down, will toss a little chunk on there. But
Yeah, I like just a little tiny something just to give it a little bit of that. It's also kind of a profile deal. Helps kind of give it that fishy look inside of it. Does it make a difference? I mean, it's a totally a confidence thing, right? If you're catching without, I go back and
yeah,
forth on trailers anyway. So
yeah.
let's see. There was another question I had just when I was going through. Oh, this one. So tell us about this one. Has this been a good seller for you? Because underspins for me, just as I was talking about spinnerbaits, am I sharing? Oh, I'm not. Okay. Tell us about this one because as I was talking about spinnerbaits, I've honestly the last few years probably thrown an underspin or like a top spin. First Gen Lures makes like a top spin. Between
hmm
both of those, probably have thrown that more than a spinnerbait, and I feel dirty saying that because spinnerbait's one of my all-time favorites. But I want to make sure we showed this one because this is a sweet little morsel as well.
Yeah. So right now we only have like the Vader, the all black and the black and gold, but
Oh, okay.
in the 1/16 we have. It's right there on
Oh,
the
here we
right.
go.
We
There it is.
have
Yep.
it's one of our top sellers. I mean, I really can't pick one. I guess, when I start going through paperwork here soon and things, I'll go back in analytics and look. Um, we just have everybody kind of has their confidence bait. That's a new
They're on the
color we
deal.
just come out with recently. We
Dude,
just
this
released that color recently.
mud monster is so good, man.
Thank you. I can actually, let me see here. Everybody was liking that little swim bait, which I could see why, because it's one of my favorite. And I know I put some here. So the guys over
Chris is saying
aggressively average.
fry cancer.
Oh yeah. Well, there's some
Oh,
more
and
colors of these coming real soon, and you'll be able to match up that American shad and like the fry chaser and things like that. These
what
colors
color was
probably
the
will be
fry
coming.
chaser?
So it's
Was that in
this
this
is
one,
a
the piglet? Here we go. Oh, yeah, I did see that one. I do like the perp on it. Okay, Chris. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I didn't
so.
see you were sharing there.
Oh no, you're good, buddy. This is one of our new
Ooh,
collars, but it has been a huge hit. This is something that we'll be releasing Monday. This is a limited one-off for the big bait guys, this is a 3/8 spinnerbait in the fry chaser. And then we have that old classic copper
Hammered,
and the
copper
black.
hammered.
Yep. And then we got the black on the back. So we got plenty of thump, and um, pretty much any water where I live in, a lot of the ponds and lakes and creeks are going to have bait fish of this little fry chaser eating the
And
fries and whatnot.
yeah, and that color specifically, or a bluegill like, I really don't throw a bluegill spinnerbait hardly ever. If you guys and gals are not throwing it around spawn or post spawn for bass, you're missing out, because that's the one time that I make sure to throw it, and it's almost guaranteed you're going to catch fish. Either that or your chatterbait, either one, whichever one you have confidence in. But for some reason, I don't know if it's the thump because water's a little bit dirtier then, but a bluegill spinnerbait with gold blades, trust me, is a spawn and post spawn smasher.
That's one of our top selling collars in the BFS spinnerbait is the American shad and the gill. I offer the gill orange blade for like your springtime and things.
Oh yeah.
It tends to work, and then the gold blade as well.
And that was which one that has the orange blade?
So the BFS spinnerbait with the gill, it'll have an orange blade on it as well.
This one? So it'll have an orange blade?
Yeah, if you go down in the
Is there an
comments,
option?
or then
Oh,
yeah,
I see. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, an orange blade. It was actually, I was throwing a battle baits. That's been a couple years ago. They make an orange one with like a big blade on it. And yeah, the orange thing is, I haven't messed with it enough, but people call it like the kicker blade. If you look at like the Booyah Covert series,
mhm.
Nichols was popular for it there for a while, or I guess still is. But a lot of companies have that kicker blade. A lot of people really believe in it. So yeah, I don't know if it
There
was
we
the
go.
color that day, if that's what they were into or what, but yeah, I know a lot of people really swear by. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Getting crushed. I think I got some of those. I'm gonna have to go back and look because I don't think I threw that one. That or the little spinny head thing.
Yeah, those are 1/16th, and we're going to offer some more collars here very soon in the little bit bigger sizes. But that 1/16 seems to be the sweet spot for a lot of the customers and things, and requests we get because of the ultralight and BFS fishing and stuff.
That's like the perfect ultra, or the perfect BFS size too. Like 1/16 is like kind of the perfect do it all, I think, from what I've messed with. You're not getting too light where it's a pain in the butt to throw. It's like, I don't care if you can throw a 1/80th on your BFS reel. Like, I don't care about that. I want to have
Right.
fun fishing it. And the 16th I think is perfect right there.
Yeah, that's about mainly everything. I'll venture down sometimes. Um, if I'm not worrying about casting distance, if I'm just beating the banks, tossing something smaller, if they're not going after the bigger stuff. But a lot of times, everything that I offer is in that 1/16th, and if it's not that spinner bait or the underspin, I'll do the bladed or just even the jiglet in a 1/16. So I pretty much stick with that size for everything with my BFS setup.
I like it. I
Stays
like it.
it stays dialed in too. So
Right.
I'm limited on time, so when I get out there, I'm not worried about having to switch and flip and kick brakes on and off. It just a little tweak of the dial depending on the trailer, I can go right back to fishing.
Yeah, Dustin, great point. Throwing his kicker blades since the 90s. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a small falling, and it's probably the whole deal because spinnerbaits just aren't as popular anymore, right? As soon as the chatterbait come out, I feel like a lot of people just kind of put the spinnerbait on the back burner. I know, Dustin, when I was out with you, you were talking about the painted blades, right? A white painted blade. seeing that, like, it's a lot of companies I feel like have just kind of gotten away from that stuff. But that's part of the cool stuff about a lot of this. Like, I've got some craws. I'll have to go look. The gentleman's craw that you showed there, how stuff goes in up and downs. Did I put that away? I think I already did. But looking back at like the man's jelly worm and some of those spade tail worms, those were so big. And then now we've come out with ribbon tail worms and curly tail worms, and nobody was fishing a straight tail worm. Then you've got like the trick worm. It's funny how you see the industry do this stuff. Hey, that bait was cool 30 years ago. Now it's back. So I don't know where I was going with that rant, but there you go. Debo ranting. Hey, Gabe in the house. Gabe's another one we need to get back on. Do we have any open water? No, dude. I was out on the ice today. I caught about 7,000 bluegill that were all about 4 inches. And then toward the end of the day, I finally got into some bass. I lost probably a 3-pounder at the hole, which made me want to kick my Vexilar down the hole. But then I ended up hooking up, and I lost a couple other really good ones, but hooked up on, before I left, 3 or 4 bass that were all like 15, 16 inches. So those were a whole lot of fun on 3-pound line, trying to get those up. And it was all in brush, so that made it quite hairy trying to get them out. That's why I kept losing them. They just kept getting off. Let's see. Mike has a question here. Are BFS jigs more or less likely to get snagged on the rocky bottoms?
Well, that's honestly the beauty of that micro jig. That one doesn't have the extra wide gap, but the fall rate of it is so slow. It tends to lay on stuff more. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but that 1/32, I'm able to throw that out there, and it doesn't really seem to like get down in stuff. It lays more on top, and I think that's why the bite is. If they're not hitting it on the fall, I think it's why it's so effective, especially with a trailer that's standing up like that. It's not really going down into whatever might be on the bottom, more so than just coming over the top.
I agree.
With that, I mean, you can't really. People's like, does it get hung up? I'm like, well, everything gets hung up in certain situations, but I tend to see that 1/32 really doesn't hang up. Now, like our Neden Jig, I fish it in some pretty dirty stuff, and it does really well with that extra wide gap setup where you don't have the weed guard, so you can kind of just run it up over stuff and things. I was fishing a finesse ball for a while, and then I switched to that Neden and fell in love with it, and I haven't went back.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Let's see, who was it? Somebody here said, oh, Blind Eye said, yeah, he has jigs and spinnerbaits for the non-BFS or ultralight guys too. Somebody maybe was asking, is that all you do? But yeah, we didn't touch on some of this just because I was looking at the BFS and ultralight, and it's not a very big market. I did show this one. I think his white crappie color, he absolutely nailed. These are some of like the poison tail swim jigs. Not the sungill,
Yeah.
that is cool, but this one, great color there for like wiper, crappie. So yes, he does do the other stuff as well. 3/8 ounce swim jigs. He's got his regular 3/8 ounce Arky head, which is really cool. Doesn't have the other colors in stock. I thought one of these I was looking at you did, I was going to point out. Maybe it was on the first page.
We're fixing to revamp the Arky line that we have, so that's why it's kind of depleted. So what we have is what we have going into the end of the year, but that's one of the group's favorite colors right there. That's why we call it pig juice. But
dude,
got like
black and blue, green pumpkin is that color in plastics. That's why I was going to point this one out. See so many plastics in that for a jig to match it. Then this was the Mothman when he had the deal with the Mothman shirt. You got the jig in there, so of course we got to point out that one, which was awesome with the red eyes. I like it. So yeah, my favorite, your jig, just the regular, the Neden jig, and that spinnerbait, I can attest are fish catchers, that 1/10. And whoever asked the question about weight, yes, the lighter you go, generally the less likely it is to get snagged. The problem you run into is when you start to fish deeper water, or if there's a little bit of wind or a little bit of current, sometimes you have to go heavier, to be able to fish it in those situations. But yeah, if it's calm or if it's not a crazy spot, going as light as you can get away with and still feel the bottom, you're generally going to get snagged less, because like Nate was saying, just kind of sits on top of stuff. You know, it could even be on like a little bit of a ledge, you know, throwing a 1/16 or 1/32. Whereas if you switch over to a 1/2 ounce, it's just going to hit that and slide down. And that's when you get stuck in all the cracks and crevices and all that, you know, so.
This is something that we're going to be doing just recently. All of our swim jigs. I try to cater to both sides. So I have guys that fish like finesse spinning, and then I have like the VFS ultralight guys, and then I have guys and gals that fish the traditional stuff. So we try to keep everything in stock and kind of keep things fresh for everything. But here's something we're going to be releasing soon. This is our gill collar. It's in a 1/4 ounce, but we just recently switched everything over in this poison tail jig to the bait fish patterns. So before we kind of had some one-offs and things, I made a decision to drop some collars, go straight bait fish patterns only for the poison tail, and then we added that fry chaser and the American shad. So far, it's been a great choice. I've sent several of those out, and several pictures have come back already with some really nice catches on those natural bait fish collar swim jigs.
Chris says you see the MS Specialist jigs also like a hybrid jig. Is that yours? Did I miss that one?
So that one is that's Chris. He's got several of those Miss Specialists. So the Miss Specialist stands for multi-species specialist. I don't know if I have any with me. I may have some back. I'll check in a second. So what it is, it's a 1/16, and I have a 1/32 going to be coming out soon. It's a hybrid silicone, flash, and marabou. And this specialist, multi-species specialist, you can pretty much catch anything on it. It's basically like our micro jig with some flash and then the marabou natural as a trailer, you know. I'm not sure if I have any of the leftover, because the reason why we're switching it over is because the original one was a ball head. It caught fish, but the new design coming in 2025 will actually have the eyes and everything. There's some pictures there on my Instagram page of them coming out.
Bobby says 2-inch easy shiner. That you'd brought that up earlier, and I don't know. I didn't realize they made it 2-inch. Let's go check. Let's go check the warehouse of tackles. And see, do they have those in stock? Is that where you got them from? Let's see. Let me switch my share screen here. Share. Oh my gosh, this, if anybody saw my post on this, as soon as I saw this on Tackle Warehouse, I read it like I was a straight Southerner. And a lot of people did as well when they read this, because I read it as an old FU buckaroo. Yeah, maybe. Anyway. Okay, so Kitech, the 2-inch easy shiner. I didn't realize they made a tiny one.
So this is basically, I know I had the truce one laying around somewhere that I hadn't lost, but so this is basically the head design that'll be coming out, and then it'll actually have the marabou in it as well. You get on our Instagram page and scroll back a little bit, you'll be able to see it. But
is it like a pill head? Is it like a round?
Yeah, and it features a V-lock hook on it too. So I was doing really well when the crappie started stacking up here where I live. So this is just a quick look while I had it out. This is the box that I fish out of mostly, and you can see how it
Ooh,
goes.
look at that
So you got a lot
goodness.
of, you got some test stuff in there. You got some colors that are on the website, but that there's always a lot of 132nd black mayflies in there just taking up a whole corner. I'm
Giving
like,
away the
oh,
secrets here.
I'm not going with one. I'm going with several. So here's another. This is a color from the guys over at AA that we come up with. This is their original one. They got the Mud Monster in this, so you've got that black and blue, and they
That's
wanted some
sweet.
green pumpkin and just a touch of chartreuse on it.
Those nerds
That's
might
in the
know their
net.
colors. Okay, we'll give them
Yeah,
credit.
those guys have been super good to me about putting things on their channel and their pages and stuff. I really like both of them.
Yep, they're good cats. Very good dudes. Yeah, before I forget, okay, so we'll get the giveaway rolling here in just a little bit, but question, so are any BFS rod builders who still use the Tennessee handles? I don't know what a Tennessee handle is, but I know we
Yeah,
were going to talk about your BFS rods, so if you have one of those laying around, that'd be cool to see.
yeah.
I have to be picking up one of those too. I didn't realize you were doing rods, and that's cool as heck that it's you said it's your brother or your buddy building them.
No, it's my brother Tommy.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah, he's doing a great job with them, and we nailed. Me and him went back and forth on the design and what we wanted to use and things like that for the whole time I was gone for a month. And then he put it together, and I actually picked it up on my way home. Uh, I put it in my hands. It was windy that day. It was ultralight. I had a 132nd ounce like this with a little crawl on it, and I was casting it across
Hmm.
the gas station parking lot. And I was like, well, we'll have to put it on to the test with some fish. And I've caught hundreds of fish. I'll grab both of them if you want.
Yeah,
Hundreds
we
of
want to
fish
see
on
them.
both of them. They've done great. This is like my little ultralight BFS corner back here. I have all my main rods up front, and then these ones in the back. So we looked at that. I looked at that Tennessee handle, but it's very minimal.
I don't even. What is a Tennessee handle? I was hoping it was an old
So
pistol grip. Bring back the pistol grips.
no, I actually have a Zebco pistol grip right here on my wall, man. It's old school, like 5 footer that belonged to
Yeah,
my wife's
dude, you
grandfather,
couldn't
man.
find back in the day. That's what Dad and I were talking about the other day. Is dude, back in the day, you couldn't find anything like a 6 foot, 6.5 foot was like a long rod. You know,
Yeah. Oh,
it's
I
funny
think
how
that
much
one
that stuff's changed.
that one's like 5. It's got the old Zebco with the old gold stripes on it and stuff. Still has a line on it. I didn't take the line off. I actually have a like my fish catches from the peacock bass and the yellowtail snapper, and it looks like the lines going down from to each picture or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So this is
Hmm.
I said on the other day I messed up and said 3 grams because I had been doing the scale and the inline spinners. But this rod, after it's finished, will be 3 ounces right at it. So it features wind grips, our custom logo here, Fuji SK reel seat. We went with that because it's exposed right here. So you get super sensitivity as you're holding it. You're pretty much straight to the blank.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's a tender shoot on there,
I don't know what that is,
BFS.
but
And
that
then,
looks cool.
so it's basically like a version of the Shimano Calcutta BFS,
Oh,
but about half the price. It's by iFish Band.
huh.
I was turned on to it. I
Very
wasn't
cool.
sure if I was going to like the round reels. I used to use them in Abu Garcias and stuff,
Oh,
but I really like it. Once I got it dialed in, it fishes well. And then you've got the pig jigs, and then we've got the wrap guides up, micro guides all the way up. I think he's in the live right now, but he does a fantastic job, and I'm super glad to have him on board doing this stuff with me.
show him the
And
badger. What's the
That's
value?
Wisconsin, I bet. So it's a custom collar. It's probably Wisconsin. He's a guy that's been with me since the very beginning. When I got started on Instagram doing lives, it's a collar I created for him. He's from
Oh,
Wisconsin.
yeah, we ain't showing that
Uh,
crap. We need to get you to do a black and yellow then. So that's
I
a
think
color
I,
I
s-
never throw is black and gold. I never throw black and yellow ever. It used to be a jig color. People used to throw like the rubber mop jigs black and yellow, but
so
never
I
throw it.
was looking into it, and I've got an idea, but the old I think it was the very first spinnerbait that come out was like a black and yellow, the old uh, stuff that would melt in your tackle box. So I don't even
The
know
flat
like
ones,
what
the
it
flat
was.
rubbery stuff. Oh
Yeah, yeah.
God.
So it wasn't even like a skirt. Like you fish it one time and it get hot in the back in the trunk of your
Yeah.
car and you pull it out and it was just like a hook with. But this is
Gum.
their ultralight,
And
so
he's
it's
making these
rated
too?
for. Yeah, yep.
Oh, that's
This
cool.
is the first one we did. It's dirty, man. I put this thing through the ringer already. I was even catching catfish on it just to put it through the test. But got the logo. I wanted to go old school. I like the cork. It's got a little bit of a round, so it fits real nice in your hand. Uh, then we've got some accented features there. The pig jigs, and
I
I'm
like
running
it,
a
man. That's sweet. I,
Vanford 1000 on that. It's
and did you
rated for 132nd to 116.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And what was the BFS? You maybe said it and I missed it.
I didn't. I forgot. It's a 1/16 to 1/4.
Oh, perfect.
I tend to fish that 1/16, and it seems to be perfect. I'm sure you could go up more, um, but to me, right there at that 1/16 is ideal.
Chat, you all are cracking me up. We got some of the Terrence and Phillip quotes going through there, and reading the comments is a whole game in itself. Y'all are cracking me up.
So I haven't even
Yeah.
been able to see any comments on here. I was like
Oh, you
trying.
can't.
I didn't want to mess anything up, man. I don't do a lot of podcasts. This is
Oh,
actually I think the third one I've done. Uh, since I started the company and stuff. So I didn't want to screw anything up or dip out
okay.
accidentally.
So you're probably wondering half the time why I'm laughing. You're like, oh my god, this guy keeps laughing at me. What the hell did I get into? No, I'm laughing at
Nah, you're
comment.
all right. Yeah, you're all right, man.
Yeah, good for skipping too, Dustin. A push button, old 6-foot push button for skipping. You're like, oh, skipping's easy. Then you try skipping on a bait cast, and you're like, wait, skipping's hard.
So I don't know if I mentioned or not, but both of those are 6 foot.
Oh, okay.
That's tend to what I like to fish. And the BFS, we've had questions on that. That's a one piece. Both of them are one piece rods, no two piece. Both one piece setups as well.
Dustin, you shut your mouth. None of that talk around here. He said, why does everything with team colors black and gold suck at football? Shush.
I
Let's
actually
see.
sent you an Iowa jig, didn't I?
Did you?
A while back, yeah.
I'm thinking.
I,
I don't
I'm trying
remember.
to
Did
think.
you?
I'm pretty sure. I think it was a Ned jig.
It's probably in my box. I should have brought the box down because you'll like that I have a special spot for your stuff in there.
Heck,
Like all the little Ned jigs and the jiglet and all that. There was another question here, and I don't know where it went, and I don't remember what it was about. I think something about gear, but I don't know. Suppose time. Yeah, I know there was a couple more questions about that. Braid to a leader. Suppose it's time to learn the FG knot. The Alberto has been my go-to for light line stuff. You're not going to notice the knot a ton. It's super easy, but yeah, if you want the lowest profile knot with a really strong knot too, yeah, FG is the way to go. But I just can't get it down. The Alberto I can tie with my eyes closed in like 30 seconds. So I just keep rolling with it.
that's what I use. It's just the first one I learned, and I've never switched from it.
I can go grab the box. Yeah, I'll go grab. I don't remember getting a black and gold. If I did, I would have thought I would have put it up because I've got a few I had somebody make me a black and gold spinnerbait. Oh my gosh, now I forget his name. He makes the rabbit fur craws that are absolutely sick, and he made me a black and gold. I had it up here for the longest time, and I think I moved it when I was. Oh no, I do still. Oh my god, why am I forgetting his name? The guy that I buy all the ice jigs from. Somebody will remember it. But talk about cool. So he does like these rabbit fur craws.
Oh yeah.
So it's a jig, but he uses like rabbit fur. But he sent
Yep.
me, and I hadn't even talked to him at the time. Like I didn't know him or anything. I just made an order and got my order, and he threw in like a gift pack. Said, "Hey, like your videos, appreciate you ordering and stuff." But I'd never talked to the guy. It was Brian's Custom, is who it is. I think Kuda. I saw him on Kuda's Jig Squad show, and needed some new ice jigs. So he has a bunch of cool ice jigs and stuff. If you guys need any of those. But threw a bunch of that in. So, oh yeah, Brian's. Thank you, Chris. But I'll have to go. Yeah, I'll go grab your box and show some of the stuff I've used yours too. Here in just a minute. I use Flora. Oh, somebody was asking about mono. Yes. So on my BFS combos, I do have one set up with Braid, but honestly, the 4-pound Varivas mono has probably been my favorite. It does have a little bit of give to it because it's mono, but it casts easy as hell. It's not as wiry as fluorocarbon. So check that out. I got that over at Bait Finesse Empire. If you go to their website, really good mono. I think the AAA guys were talking about the Varivas Braid. So I tried the mono. 4-pound is what I've been running. So when I was throwing like your undulator, like the bladed jig or spinnerbait, 4-pound mono is what I was throwing it on that day. On that,
Nice.
the SLX BFS. So great line to throw on those. I don't remember what the other question was. So give us what other questions y'all have. Let's get the giveaway rolling here. To also add to that, I will also throw in a giveaway because you were nice enough to do one. I'm not going to just do that and let you be the only one giving stuff away.
You're good, man. I'd be lying if I said, man, I've been a fan of this show for such a long time. I tell everybody that I run into if they're wanting to learn about like a product or a review and stuff like that. This is one of the realest channels, and to be able to talk to you and stuff and jump on here, man, it's awesome. So I felt it was only right, as much as you give back to the community, I try to do my little part and do a little giveaway for your channel.
I appreciate that a lot, man. I appreciate that. That's why I was saying, I know we've talked back and forth multiple times. And I really did thought that I had you on here before. So, Chris did get it. Chris, I'll give you a special present. I've actually got a bunch of Neds I made up for Chris. But he was the first one to get the hashtag before I even posted it. Well done, sir. Let me see. Oh, I'll go grab that box. Let's get some questions rolling here. We're going to get the giveaway going. So this will be one for Nate's stuff and then one for mine. I've got some, they're all over there now, but I painted up a bunch of liplesses I've been adding to people who were getting custom lures. I'll throw in a lipless and some lures. You'll just let me know what kind of lures you use, and I can throw some in, and some pig jig stuff. If you end up being an ultralight or BFS guy or gal, I do have some of those extra that I bought. I could throw one or two in if you want to try them.
I actually got the comments to come up. I didn't want to like screw anything up, but I see a lot of guys from Pig Nation in here, and I'm super happy to have those guys around and stuff. It's a group of anglers. I don't know if I explained this or not. So
I figure that's just what you called like your followers or the people, your regulars.
Yeah, I mean they are, but they're also great friends of mine. So it's a group. I can't fish in New Jersey, New York, Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, just wherever they might be. So what I've done is I've formed this group called Pig Nation. We have a private chat on Instagram. They get to see a lot of the stuff before anybody else sees it. A lot of them have rods as of right now. We let them go first and pick what they wanted before we release to the public. But So if I have a question, or just from seeing what they order and what they talk about in the group and how things are going, if I have a customer that has a question, say with somebody in New York or New Jersey, I can contact them, or just kind of even just look at their page and kind of see what they've been fishing and how things are going, and give back to the other customer, answer their questions, because I can't be there. So, but
I get it.
it's
Yep.
a tight knit group of guys, and shout out to you guys, Pig Nation, man. I appreciate you guys, and uh, it just all works. The group's super good, very informative. If you have a question about anything, uh, that's what I tell people when I add them to the group. Somebody in the group's experienced it, knows somebody tried it, or something. So it's very informative, and we have everybody from your professional anglers or MLF guys that do the Toyota series, down to the creek guys, kayak fishermen, just a wide variety.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going through, I'm just pinging questions. I just realized when I was saying, oh, there's questions back there, I completely forgot that I have a star capability where I can star those and it leaves me everything waiting there. So yeah, dummy Debo moment. I'll go grab my box here in just a second. But Mike had a question here while maybe I'll let you take that one. Do you have an answer for that? That's not drop shot, because if you say drop shot, I'm just going to kick you from the live.
What was the question here?
Mike's question: how do you handle a pond/lake bottom with a bunch of slime on it while fishing a bottom contact lure like a jig? Or do you go to something different?
Um, the Neden Jig.
You still throw the
It,
Neden Jig, huh?
I throw it in some pretty nasty stuff here. If you don't get to a lot of the waters where I fish, that's one of the reasons why I created it. A lot of the stuff you notice, like even this inline has the EWG on it, and that Neden Jig, uh, I use a lot of floating plastics on it. So once I get it out there, I dead stick it. I've got videos on my page. You can go back and check it out, but it literally will just stand straight up. And I get hung up with it. Um, if I'm needing bottom contact, definitely the Ned Jig. I mean,
Okay.
it's a fish catching machine, man. I literally fished that like one whole year. Once I designed it and started really, dialing into getting the collars we wanted and things like that, the hook we were wanting to use, and how many strands, with it being too big but not small enough to where it would still appeal to some of the bigger bass. We dialed it in, and it's just he catches fish all over the country, not just here. That's what I highly recommend.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to think back. I mean, drop shot is so good. Honestly, for me, I tend to fish above it. So going with that one, I forget which one you were talking about, that was really light, that had that real slow fall, almost jigging
Hmm.
something like that. So for example, like I throw a wacky rig, or
Yeah.
a stick bait, and that type of stuff, where if it hits, it's not going to get all gunked up and I'm not dragging it through it. I'm popping it over it. So whatever that real light one was that you showed, that kind of the horsefly looking thing, I think would be
Oh
really
yeah.
good too. Yeah, like a
Yeah. So this
real little
this
guy like that that falls real slow.
this is a caller for. He's in the chat here. Chris Data there. This is a cotton candy collar in the jiglet. And if I'm going ultralight, absolutely this. If I'm using like normal spinning, or even a like a medium light casting, uh, I suggest the Neden. If you're going ultralight BFS, I definitely suggest the jiglet with this little thing. Uh, Fish bottom contact with it. We've got some videos too of the action of it, so it's just going to stand straight up like that. Doesn't get hung up. I mean, everything gets hung up, but it doesn't tend to get hung up as much where it's so light and stuff. I don't fish the drop shot enough, I don't guess. I mean,
You're
I
not
try a
missing
little bit
much.
of everything.
It's awful.
Uh, I just I guess I never did. I have at times. I will fish the mule minnow, the 2 inch one he has in certain situations. I like that white collar when I do drop shot,
Hmm.
but I really don't fish it as much as I guess other people.
Yeah, a lot of kind of the same things here. People were saying lighter, hits before, or they get bit before they even hit. Yeah, and the slime part, I know is what Mike or whoever asked that. Yeah, when it's that real slimy bottom, any weight tends
Mhm.
to just grab any of that slime. So going as light as you can, whack your rig, Gabe said. So yeah, a lot
A
of
lot of
William drop shot.
a lot of our waters around here, like if you don't get in them by June, you better have weedless or some type of, if you're wanting bottom contact, because it just it'll wear you out trying to keep the stuff off the hook and things.
Yeah, a lot of kind of the same. Whoops, a lot of kind of the same. Yeah, I know. I do hate it is where it's like you almost. People were saying the free rig too. Yeah, it'd be okay. The problem is your weight is still going to get all gunked up. If you leave it down there for any amount of time, so it's almost a drop shot has to, or just stay above it. That's where I'll rig up something, weedless and try to just barely stay over the top of that. But okay, let's draw a couple winners here, and then I think we'll take it and we'll get out of here. We've been going for an hour 15. So let's see, I am sharing it. First one, this will be for the Pig Jigs gift. Who we got? Who we got? Better not be John. Hey, Gators!
Congrats, Gators. We'll get that sent out to you.
Okay, Gators, just send me your stuff, and then do you want me to just email you Gators info?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll
Gators,
get that out
congrats. I
Monday.
know.
So
Well, you are 1,000 times better than me because I noticed I still had stuff from November. People are
the
probably
people
taking a little bit of time.
the people at the post office see me quite often, and I have orders to go out. So it's a funny story. I won't go on too much about it, about the post office, but there's me and another gentleman that live here local, and he does envelopes, and I do the fishing stuff. And he does some kind of business with his envelopes. And I always tease him that we have our pictures behind the post office wall, and they see us coming, they want to shut the blind.
Serious, I'm assuming you are still on. You've been on the whole time. So serious, you will need to email me DEBO'SFishing@gmail.com. Let's make sure you are still here. Your ad, yes, you are. Okay, perfect. Your address, a screenshot of your YouTube, so I know it's you, and what type of fishing you do. I'll try to cater a gift pack to you for whatever type of fishing you do in your area. Okay, that was easy. Both were here. Oh, here, let's see. B Dog. So I had a few starred here. When is that one going to be available? Your BFS?
So we're not going to set a date on it. Like I said
Oh,
before, I'll let everybody in Pig Nation get it,
mm-hmm.
what they wanted, and kind of. But just last week, I told them we're cutting off orders to the group. We're going to release to the public. Won't know until I think we got about 3 or 4 more to do for the group. And then we're going to do small batches of, say, the BFS, and then we're going to do small batches of the ultralight. So everybody kind of can get their feel. And then hopefully at some point, if we get caught up, and we'll be able to keep them there on the site. That way you can just jump on there and grab them.
Gotcha.
But they're small. They're small batch. He's a one-man wrecking crew, and we're
Yeah, it's a lot of
hoping.
work.
I want to say in the next couple months is a good estimated time. No specific date, but
Okay.
um, give him the time to get caught up, and then uh, a few weeks to get a group of BFS rods available.
Right.
Um, I would keep a close. I would say this: if you're in the market for an ultralight, I would keep a very close eye on the Instagram page in the next couple days.
Okay.
So if
Wink,
you're in the
wink,
market
hint,
for an
hint.
ultralight, uh, make sure you keep checking back on the page or check it out so often if you're interested.
Okay. Mike, this is a good one. What's the best part of the pig? Ham, ribs, Boston butt, tenderloin, chops? We know you're not a
Mm.
barbecue guy. We're not mistaking that, but what's your
But,
favorite?
but
Do you have a favorite part?
I do, man. I actually went to culinary school before I was an engineer. I was a chef for a long time, so
Oh,
that's a tricky
interesting.
that's a tricky question. Um, and I don't want to offend anybody, but this is one of my sayings is I don't trust anybody that doesn't eat bacon. I think bacon is the duct tape of food. I actually have bacon wrapped asparagus waiting for me upstairs right now.
Oh,
Uh, and I like, I mean, I like pretty much all of it. I love ribs. I'm a big rib, pulled pork type of guy. Um, I I could live or die without the ham. I don't think it's my favorite. Uh,
that's my favorite for sure. I
yeah,
love ham, dude. It goes on, especially not even fresh ham, leftover
yeah,
ham, because you can do leftover ham sandwiches. I'm a big like
right.
rice guy, like Korean food
Yeah,
guy. So cutting up ham, throwing it in fried rice, I absolutely love ham. But yeah,
if
I think bacon's the default.
yeah, I mean, and that's a given. If I mean, I truly enjoy uh the tenderloin, obviously, but I like the chops with the bone in. I really enjoy those on the grill, and even breaded things like that. I just like anytime I think just I mean the ham a lot of time has a bone, but anytime you can get a meat that you cook with the bone in, it's just 10 times better.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And hey, interesting stat. I don't know if we still are, but Iowa used to be the largest pork producing state in the nation. So you're welcome. Not only do we do a bunch of corn, we also raise lots of pigs. Oh, and spam, dude. I absolutely love spam. People are like, "Do you know what it is? It's all the pig part." I'm like, yeah, throw them on there. I used to eat head cheese with my grandpa when I was younger. If you don't know what that is, that's you take a pig's head, boil it, and you get all the good gelatinous meat and stuff out of it, and then you just let it gelatin set and cut it up and eat it. It's amazing.
It's like scrumples.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I
Scrapple
mean?
or yep, scrupple or
Yeah, I
whatever.
think depending on where you're at in the country, what they call it. But the first time I had
Yep.
seen that, I was in culinary school, and a roommate of mine brought it from back home. He was cutting it in pieces like spam
Yeah,
and frying it, and I was like, "Man, what
dude,
is
it's
that?"
so good.
Hey, real quick, I know you said
Yeah.
something about getting off here, but we have that inline coming.
Okay.
But we also have a lot more coming very, very soon. This is something
Oh
that'll
yeah.
be released Monday. So this is more like a bait fish profile. It's inline blade. This is a 1/10 of an ounce. So it's got the woolly spin on the back of it. Looks like
Is
a
that a
little woolly
single hook?
bugger. Yep, we decided to do a single hook. That way, if you're in catch and release, this is a size 8. We'll have some size 6s as well. But you don't have to worry about the catch and release,
Mm-hmm.
or even if you're, beginning angler, things like that. You don't want to mess with the trebles because a lot of times people tend to get those in their finger, especially the real small trebles, uh, being so small in their mouth. But yeah, we've got a natural stone bead there. Real quick, I'll show you just a couple other designs that I have just been showing the guys in the group. So this is like a pink that you'll see with the
Oh,
silver.
I like that, especially the barred fur up there.
Yeah. So it's going to be called, I just got the stickers in today. Um, it's our woolly spin. So it's basically, if you fly fish or know anybody that fly fishes, it's basically a woolly bugger minus the long shank because usually it's real long. We
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do something different and with trout being such a big part of our waters here in West Virginia. But this is something else I've been messing with too. Um, this is basically the same, but the red. And then instead of the blade, we actually have a prop. So it's right
Oh,
there on the front. So it's basically like our piggy spin. So it's not going to be as much. It'll be a little bit more subtle. So you
uh-huh.
don't, if you tend to get in waters around trout sometimes, especially the stock trout, they tend to spook. And I think this will go through the water pretty good. It features a glass bead as well. So you've got that clank with the weight. It kind of cups around the bead there.
That's funny that you bring that up because I was never into trout fishing, like never ever interested me. And I started doing it, I don't know, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It just got so cold. Bass fishing shut off, and we have a bunch of places that stock them. So, dude, stock trout, if y'all have never tried fishing stock trout, and screw the purists will all run you down and say, oh, you just catch stock trout, anybody could catch them. That's the point. It's fun. Like, go out and have a good time. They fight like hell. And here and inline absolutely crushes them. I tried little jigs, I tried little cranks, switch back to a rooster tail like an inline spinner. It's just a
Yeah.
blast. So, and if you like eating them, yeah, they're good to eat too. I don't really like
Yep.
trout, but I think there's better fish. A lot of people like them though.
I I think it's a lot of people eat them around here because we have the season, but I think if you're going to eat fish, you probably want to go the crappie or the walleye route. If you're looking for the best freshwater, available to a lot of people, the crappie and the walleye would be best. I think
Crappie,
trout's a little
bluegill,
overrated.
wiper. Yeah, I do too. Because you see it, when they do it all fancy with the lemon and the dill, this whole thing. It's like I'd rather just have some bluegill fried with some hot sauce.
Yeah,
I'm an Iowa
they're
guy,
putting
so
all that
I'm
stuff
pretty
on there to
simple.
kind of to mask it up.
All right. Well, let's see. Do we have any questions before we get out of here? We've been going for almost an hour and a half. I think there was one other one that came through. Where was it? All kinds of spam talk. I think we got everybody fired up about spam. People are going to be purchasing a bunch of spam over the weekend, maybe. I don't know what it was. Well, listen, I left Nate's website below, Pig Jigs. I appreciate you jumping on. Where else can everybody find you? I'm assuming you're just on it. Pig Jigs, Instagram, all those Pig Jigs. I'm sure you got all that.
Yeah, we're Pig Jigs 24/7 is the handle you'll find us at on Instagram. It's just Pig Jigs on Facebook and Pig Jigs on TikTok. We're starting to do more on the TikTok. Maybe do some lives here soon of some fishing videos and things. But mainly, if you're trying to get in contact with me, your best bet would be Instagram.
Okay. All right. Well, fun live. Next week, let's see. Do I have a guest next week? I don't know. It'll be a surprise. I've got a couple guests lined up. I don't remember when each one was because I think there was some time conflicts. But I thank you for jumping on, brother. I thank everybody else out there for watching. Appreciate y'all. And until next live.